see a few companies with a big presence here in North Carolina that have recently announced layoffs. Collectively, we're talking about hundreds of jobs. Tech giant Microsoft is one of those companies we're talking about. It announced plans to cut hundreds of jobs alone, and WRAL TechWire shows a drop-off in the number of local openings at Microsoft. Durham tech startup Adwerx is among the companies also making cuts you see here. A local man who was recently laid off spoke with WRAL's Monica Casey about his experience searching for a new job in uncertain economic times.
Working from home and being laid off means this chair that I'm in right here, this is where I was laid off.
Mike Baldwin was a QA engineer at Durham-based Adwerx for the last 4 years before being laid off a couple of weeks ago.
I was very surprised. I was blindsided by it.
Baldwin tells me he knew of certain issues in the economy, but he wasn't expecting them to trickle down to him.
I've got a mortgage to pay and, I've got medicine to buy, and I'm filing for unemployment right now, which is slow and difficult.
Economist Dr. Mike Walden says, unfortunately, Baldwin's situation may not be unique. He's not ready to call this a recession, but he says if it becomes one, the triangle will not be exempt.
If the Federal Reserve continues trying to abate inflation by raising interest rates, I'm fearful that the job market may start to weaken significantly.
Walden is especially concerned about layoffs as it becomes more expensive to borrow.
We may get to the point, I'd say, by the end of the year, where we're starting to see a significant number of layoffs.
Baldwin has advice for others, including keeping your resume up to date and your options open.
Always keep looking because you just never know, even if you're happy.
Walden recommends having at least 6 months of savings on hand, and he says if you're concerned about a possible recession, take the time to create a budget. Monica Casey, WRAL News in Durham.
Baldwin was laid off a couple of weeks ago. His advice to others who have lost their jobs and are now on the hunt for a new one: keep a routine and take care of yourself.